Yo, what's good? All right, so it looks like we got some breaking news. All right, so it looks like Kang has been conquered. Jonathan Majors has been found guilty of harassment and assault. So the Marvel star was found guilty of two of the four counts leveled against him. So after days of deliberation, I didn't even know this shit was going to like deliberations that fast. Like I thought like this motherfucker trial was going on a little bit longer, but it shows you how much like I've been paying attention to this fucking trial, because the whole time I seen news coming out about the trial, I was thinking like it was like the trial going on, but then it was like they were doing like jury deliberation and all the other bullshit. So I don't fucking know, man. I wasn't paying attention. I think this shit was going on since like last year or some shit. Something like that. But so after days of deliberation, the jury in Marvel star Jonathan Majors' domestic violence trial has found him guilty of one count of assault in the third degree and one count of harassment in the second degree. Both are misdemeanors. So the jury, however, acquitted him on two counts: intentional assault in the third degree and aggravated assault in the second degree. So Majors has yet to be sentenced, but ABC News reports that he faces up to a year in prison. So the trial surrounded an incident that took place between Majors and his ex-girlfriend, Grace Jabari. Yo, her name is funny as Grace Jabari, right? That shit sound like a black ass like last name, but it's a white chick. But anyway, it's just the irony to me, which saw the actor arrested under charges of strangulation, assault, and harassment. So I guess they couldn't get him for the strangulation, because I'm assuming that he didn't strangle her. But IGN has reached out to Majors' defense attorney Priya Chaudhry for comment on today's verdict. The jury deliberated for about 5 hours, split over the course of 3 days. So after several delays, the trial began December 4th, during which Jabari testified that Majors had been abusive throughout the course of their relationship, but focused on the March 25th incident reported to the New York Times. Jabari testified on December 5th that Majors assaulted her in the backseat of a car during an altercation that was set off after she spotted a text message on his phone from another woman. I'm assuming the other woman's probably like Megan Good or something. Like, I don't know. I'm not trying to spread any rumors to speculate, but he did end up with Megan Good like right after this, this relationship. But she said she grabbed his phone from him, and Majors twisted her hands and arm while trying to pry it away from her. When she suddenly felt a really hard blow across my head, she testifies. I mean, why'd you grab that nigga phone in the first place? But anyway, I mean, wrong is wrong. Both of these motherfuckers, like, if what is alleged is true, both of these motherfuckers shouldn't be touching each other like that, period. But, so the 6-person jury was shown various pieces of evidence, including, per the New York Times, video footage of Majors and Jabari both jumping out of the vehicle. Actually, Majors jumped out of the vehicle first, and then she followed this motherfucker. But, they trying to make her look like she a victim and shit. Both jumping out of the vehicle. So both Majors, before Majors turned around and pushed Jabari back inside. For his part, Majors had pleaded not guilty to all charges, and his legal team had long argued that Jabari was the aggressor. So, what does this mean for Jonathan Majors in the MCU? Today's verdict could have serious implications for Majors' once rising career in the MCU. So, in which Majors played the increasingly important villain Kang. He appeared both in this year's Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, and the recently wrapped second season of Loki, which was set to continue to play a crucial role in the MCU leading up to the Avengers the Kang Dynasty, which don't come out until like what 2 or 3 years from now. It's bullshit. But anyway, while Disney has not yet announced any changes surrounding Major's involvement in the MCU due to the charges, Variety had reported in November that Marvel executives were considering pivoting from Kang to Doctor Doom following the arrest. So they were just like, fuck Kang. We just gonna go to Doctor Doom. But if you went to Doctor Doom, first of all, who you gonna have play Doctor Doom? And second of all, how are you just gonna write Kang out of the script? Like, there's like mad fucking variants of Kang, Kang. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you're building a fucking story around this nigga. So you might as well just recast this motherfucker. If you're gonna like let this man go, just recast him. Recast him. Some, you know what I'm saying, 1960s old-faced looking nigga, you know what I'm saying, like to recast Jonathan Majors if you're gonna go that route. But I'm saying, like, it's kind of like a moral, I guess, dilemma that they're in. So it's like he is an excellent actor. I would say, like, probably let him go for like one more movie. Let him film one more movie. If he can keep his nose clean, then keep him. You know what I'm saying? But if not, if he can't keep his nose clean and all that shit, then fuck it. Let him go. That's just me. Because, like, you know, these white actors, like, they get like plenty of times to fuck up. Like fucking whatchamacallit, the nigga who played the Flash. Excuse me. He was out here wilding, fucking up, like, you know what I'm saying, abusing kids and all other types of shit, abducting motherfuckers. Excuse me. And he still got to play the Flash for like a minute before he was, I guess, like going to be recasted. But yeah, so, but that was only really because, like, I think the Flash, like, the latest, like, the Flash movie, like, that shit actually flopped. So they were DCEU. They were like, yo, we're just gonna go in another direction. So meanwhile, in October, Disney pulled the Majors starring drama magazine Dreams from its release calendar. With no release date in sight, IGN reached out to Disney for comment on today's verdict. So it's going to be interesting to see what the fallout is of this. One, if Jonathan Majors is going to see any jail time, and then two, if his MCU career is over. So let's see what happens. I guess it all depends on the sentencing too, and I guess like what the hell Marvel wants to do. So I just thought I'd just go ahead and report on that real quick, because it looks like Kang got conquered on second and third degree charges, but like, you know, first degree charges. But yeah, who can conquer Kang? A white bitch. So I just happened to stumble across this article, which I feel like is kind of interesting. All right, so Tampa rappers murder case won't need unanimous jury for death penalty, judge rules. So in Tampa, a judge has ruled that the Hillsborough prosecutors will only need to convince 8 jurors out of 12. Well, 8 jurors, not 12. The Tampa rapper Billy Adams III should receive the death penalty if he is found guilty of first-degree murder in the death of Alana Sims. So in a 3-page order issued last week, Hillsborough Circuit Judge Mark Kaiser rejected arguments from Adams' defense that a new Florida law, which lowered the threshold for juries to recommend capital punishment for a unanimous vote to an 8-4 vote, should not apply to his case. So Adams was arrested and charged in the case when the law still required juries to be unanimous if they are to recommend the death penalty, but the law changed to the 8-4 requirement while his case was pending. So the Hillsborough Public Defender's Office, that's why he lost, because this nigga got a whole fucking public defender. Niggas be out here rapping and shit and can't really afford, like, you know what I'm saying, high profile lawyers or actually good lawyers. Like, niggas out here with public defenders. But, alright, so, niggas be frontin'. But anyway, alright, so the Hillsborough Public Defender's Office, which represents Adams, had argued that the change amounted to what's known as an ex post facto law, or a law that applies retroactively, and that it increased likelihood that Adams will receive the death penalty. Ex post facto laws are explicitly forbidden in the U.S. Constitution. So state prosecutors counted that the change was merely procedural, and that Adams' potential punishment, death or life in prison, will remain the same. Excuse me. Still getting over a cold in my throat. It's kind of dry. Pause. So Judge Kaiser concluded that he was bound by an appeals court decision from earlier this year, which found that the 8-4 law could apply in a pending case. So his ruling differs with the other Hillsborough judge. Circuit Judge Leanne, is it Leanne? Probably Leanne Goldie ruled in October that the 8-4 law should not apply in the case of Mackenzie Lyons, who awaits trial in connection to a 2018 double murder in Ruskin. God damn, this motherfucker out here killing 2 people. Mackenzie Lyons, I'm gonna have to check that out, but that sounds like a white person or like a white chick. So, and this nigga is black, so of course this nigga is gonna apply to this motherfucker, but not, you know what I'm saying, the white people, the white chick. Like that's how these fucking laws be working, man. That's how these laws be working. As a matter of fact, let me check real quick. To see if this Mackenzie Lyons person is white in fact. Checking. Woman. Okay. Yes, in fact, she is. Hold up. Samantha Louise. Okay, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. So, no, hold up. So the person that she killed is they're Latino. But it looks like the person who is being charged is actually Simona Louise Ramsey. What the fuck? Is that the right case? Hold up, Mackenzie Lyons. I'm looking for like. No, okay. Mackenzie Lyons is actually black. He's a black guy. Okay, but his Cody is a white chick. So, but anyway, let me go back into here in the Mackenzie Lyons. So boom. Who awaits trial in a connection of a 2018 double murder in Ruskin. So Godey cited a Polk County judge's ruling, which concluded that applying the new law to a pending case would be unconstitutional. So the issue may be one that the Florida Supreme Court ultimately decides. So this shit could go all the way up to the Supreme Court. The Florida Supreme Court. The Florida legislator and Governor Ron DeSantis, bitch ass, this spring passed a new law doing away with the requirement that juries be unanimous if they are going to recommend the death penalty. So the new 8-4, so all you really need is 8 people to sentence your ass to death, or, you know what I'm saying, but like the death penalty is in play for this case. So it says Adams, who is 26, he's a semi-professional hip-hop artist. Yo, that's so disrespectful. Like, nigga, you either hip-hop, you either a rapper or you not a rapper, my nigga. Like, your feet is either in or it's either out. But anyway, it says he is a semi-professional hip-hop artist who performs under the name Ace NH. I've never heard of this motherfucker before a day in my life. Is accused in the January shooting of Sims, who was 22. She was found dead in the road beside the SUV she'd been driving in a new Tampa subdivision. Her toddler son was found unharmed inside the vehicle. Sims was pregnant when she died. So she already had a toddler son, and then she was pregnant with another baby. A witness told police that Adams was believed to be the father of Sims' unborn child, according to the court records. The killing occurred 3 days after Adams was found not guilty in the 2020 fatal shooting of Trayvon Albury and Daniel Thompson. Which occurred inside a Lutz recording studio. So he just out here smoking niggas. He just out here shooting motherfuckers. Like he a part-time rapper, full-time killer nigga. Like this nigga just out here just killing motherfuckers like for no fucking reason. In this trial, that case, Adams testified that he killed the pair in self-defense because he believed they were about to rob the studio's owner. So he got away with that shit, but I don't think he's gonna get away with this. Like this nigga is wild. It's a wild dude. But if I see anything else that turns up in this case, I will let y'all know. Moving on to political news, down in the state of Texas, racist ass governor Greg Abbott has pretty much signed a bill known as SB 4 that allows the state of Texas to arrest migrants. Has been signed into law. It's been signed by Greg Abbott. So Republican Governor Greg Abbott of Texas on Monday signed one of the harshest state immigration laws in modern U.S. history. So authorizing state officials to arrest and seek the deportation of migrants suspected of crossing the border with Mexico illegally. So they can just off of suspicion, like not even have facts. Like just be I suspect this person is an illegal immigrant, and law enforcement can fucking detain them and have them deported, I guess back to Mexico. So I mean, there's been cases where some Latinos, when ICE was going around, under Trump, they was arresting people who they thought was Mexicans, and they wasn't even Mexican. They was from Brazil, motherfuckers from Dominican Republic, Cuba and all this. Well, Cuba, you get deported. But some of these people were actually in the state legally. They were born in this country and they still got deported anyway. So this is ridiculous. This shit is getting out of hand. And say you get arrested, you gotta post bail. Bail costs money. Bail costs money, so you either got to put the house up, or you got to scrape up some money to come up with some bail money, and then on top of that, you got to go to court, try to fight from being, I guess, deported. But this is wild. I don't understand how there's a whole war on Latinos, mainly Mexicans and stuff like that, to try to keep the Mexicans out of the country, try to keep them from coming over to Mexico. But it's then they're well, who's gonna clean my house? Who's gonna be my maid? You want to keep them out of the country, but then you want to go on vacation to fucking different Mexican spots over in Mexico and want access to their, their beaches and stuff like that. Make this shit make sense, bro. The shit don't make no fucking sense whatsoever. This shit is a racist law. It's a racist law, and there's nothing else I can say to I gotta call it what it is. The shit is fucking racist. The law known as SB 4 gives Texas law enforcement authorities the power to stop, arrest, and jail migrants on new state-level illegal entry charges. This reminds me of like the New York stop and frisk when there was like, targeting black people over in New York. But eventually they had to get rid of stop and frisk because one, it was blatantly racist, and then two, the shit didn't really work. So like the shit is just fucking stupid. It also allows state judges to issue de facto deportation orders against suspected violators of the law, though it's unclear how this provision could be enforced. So passed by Texas legislature earlier this year, SB 4 is an extraordinary attempt by the state to inject itself into immigration and border enforcement, both long-standing federal prerogatives. So it will almost certainly trigger high stakes legal and political clash with civil rights groups and potentially the Biden administration. Because the Biden administration is, they try to be friendly towards the immigrants and stuff like that. I believe the Obama administration was friendly towards immigrants too. It's like the Republicans, like I don't understand this shit. Like, you want to wage war on the immigrants, specifically immigrants of color. You want to make it harder for immigrants of color to come into this country. But, if they're Jewish or if they're, fucking French or if they're any type of white immigrant, it's easy as fuck for them to get in the country. It's very easy for them to get into the country. You're not questioning them coming in the country, but you questioning, like Latinos, I'm assuming like maybe like Africans, Muslims, like all them, like, you're giving them a hard time. Before it was signed into law, SB 4 garnered strong criticism from Democratic lawmakers, the Mexican government, and advocacy groups, including the American Civil Liberties Union, which is representing civil rights groups in a lawsuit challenging the law. The lawsuit, filed in the U.S. District of the Court of Western District of Texas, that's a long-ass fucking name, alleges that the state is grasping control over immigration from the federal government and depriving people subject to that system of all the federal rights and due process that the Congress provided to them, including the rights to contest removal and seek asylum. So asked about SB 4, White House spokesperson Angelo Fernandez, his name is wild, said this is an extreme law that will make communities in Texas less safe. Generally speaking, the federal government, not individual states, is charged with determining how and when to remove non-citizens for violating immigration laws. So it's like they just want to be like, fuck the federal government, you know what I'm saying? Like, we doing this shit ourselves. And it's just basically like they just trying to make, I guess, Texas as white as possible. Like, at one point I did, I lived down there for about 2 years, and I liked it. I liked it down there. It was cool. But like, ever since, recently, especially since Trump was in office, like, Texas has been showing its ass. They've been showing their ass, and it's not a good thing. It's not a good sight. So the law is also the latest effort by Texas to challenge President Biden, a Democrat, on immigration. So at the direction of Abbott, Texas has bused tens of thousands of migrants to Chicago, New York, and other Democratic-led cities. He also instructed National Guard units and state troopers to repel migrants. Repel migrants. With razor wire, floating barriers, and trespassing arrests. Stephen Yell Lower, I believe that's his name, a Cornell University professor and immigration expert, called SB 4 unprecedented. He said the Texas law is more sweeping in nature than SB 1070, a controversial Arizona law in 2010 that penalized unauthorized immigrants in different ways, including by empowering state police to stop those believed to be in the country unlawfully. So The Supreme Court partially struck down the Arizona law in 2012, concluding that states could not undermine federal immigration law. But it's by far the most anti-immigrant bill that I've ever seen. So that's what Yale Law said about SB4. So what does SB4 do? Crossing into the United States outside of an official port of entry is already a federal crime. Though most migrants violations are treated as civil cases in immigration court system, SB4 will make illegal immigration a state crime ranging from a misdemeanor to a felony. So while Texas troopers have already been arresting some migrant adults on state trespassing charges, that effort has required the consent of private property owners. The new law would not. So under SB4, crossing into Texas illegally from Mexico will be treated as a misdemeanor crime, punishable up to 180 days in jail and a fine of $2,000. Illegal re-entry into Texas will be a felony offense, punishable up to 2, 10, or 20 years in jail, depending on whether the migrant in question has previously been deported or convicted of certain crimes. SB4 includes a provision that bars state officials from arresting migrants in certain locations, including schools, places of worship, and healthcare facilities. The law would also allow Texas magistrates to order migrants suspected of committing the new illegal entry or re-entry crimes to return to Mexico as an alternative to continuing their prosecution. Those found to violate these orders could be charged with a second-degree felony. Now, how Texas would enforce these de facto deportation orders remains unclear, and the federal government has the facilities, agents, and international agreements needed to deport migrants to foreign countries. So Mexico's government has said it will reject efforts by Texas to return migrants to its territory. So Texas is like, we ain't fucking with that shit at all. Like I said, if they made it into the country, motherfucker, they staying in that country. We ain't taking these motherfuckers back. Just to stick it to Texas or whatever. Just stick it to the United States. Fuck them niggas. Abbott and other proponents of SB4 have argued the law is needed to deter illegal border crossings and address what they see as a lackluster effort by the Biden administration to deal with the crisis. More than 2 million migrants were apprehended by U.S. Border Patrol agents along the southern border, in both fiscal years of 2022 and 2023, the highest levels on record. But opponents of the measure have denounced SB4 as needlessly punitive, expressing concerns that the law could lead to racial profiling, which it will, and sow fear in immigrant communities across the state, not just among new arrivals, because it's very vague where you be like, he looks like a suspect. He looked like he could have just came into this country illegally. The motherfucker could be in there for like 15 years or could have been born here. You know what I'm saying? They've also argued it will overwhelm state jails and officials, diverting resources from efforts to arrest serious criminals. So it's the newest clusterfuck of a law that was, provided by Texas. Texas is on some bullshit, and hopefully, the Supreme Court or whoever needs to strike this shit down strikes this down and deems it that it's unconstitutional, because this law is pretty much is racist and is bullshit. So fuck Greg Abbott, and right now fuck the state of Texas for even allowing this shit. Who the fuck keeps electing Greg Abbott, man? Fuck that nigga. earlier today, I seen a clip of Taraji P. Henson. She was on a Gayle King show. Gayle King's Sirius XM show to promote the color purple. And she had talked about the pay disparity in Hollywood and opened up about the struggles like she continues to face despite her success in the industry. So it says, while making an appearance on Gayle King's Sirius XM show to promote the color purple, Henson broke down into tears as she talked about getting underpaid for most of her work, for her work, and almost quitting the industry altogether. So she just said, "I'm just tired of working so hard, being gracious at what I do, getting paid a fraction of the cost," Henson said after taking a long pause and breaking down. She said, I'm tired of my sisters saying the same thing over and over. You get tired. I hear people go, "You work a lot." She said, "I have to. But the math ain't mathing, and you start working a lot. You have a team. Big bills come with what we do. You don't do this alone. It's a whole team behind us. They have to get paid." And pretty much she continued, "So when you hear someone saying, 'Oh, such and such made $10 million,' know that it didn't make it to their account. So know off the top, Uncle Sam's getting 50%, and then do the math. So now we have $5 million. Your team's getting 30% off of what you gross, not after what Uncle Sam took. Now do the math. I'm only human. It seems every time I do something and break another glass ceiling, when it's time to renegotiate, I'm at the bottom again. Like I never did what I just did, and I'm tired. It wears on you." And she said, "What does that mean? What does that tell me? If I can't fight for them coming up behind me, then what the fuck am I doing?" And Gabrielle Union shared the clip of Henson and added, "Not a damn lie told, not a damn lie. We go to bat for the next generation, and hell, even our generation and above. We don't hesitate to be the change that we all need to see, and it takes a toll on your mind, health, soul, and career if we're keeping it 100. So pretty much, like, this has been going on for decades. Like, we all know, like, there's a big pay disparity between black female actors, but just black actors in general, and white actors. And it doesn't matter like what your accolades are, what you've achieved, when it comes back to the renegotiations of, I guess, like your next project or maybe a distribution deal or something like that. Like, black folks, especially black women, get lowballed. They get lowballed, and it's just like, how much more am I going to deal with this shit? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's taxing, makes you want to quit. But my thing is, like, I need more of the black actors, you know what I'm saying, to come together. Tyler Perry can't be the only one with his own damn studio, you know what I'm saying? Like, we need more black studios. We need more black heads. Black heads. We need more black figures up in like executive, positions at these studios who can actually get more projects made and make sure that people actually get paid what they're supposed to be getting paid. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is a long ass fight. The new SAG-AFTRA, I guess, like, contract or deal that was renegotiated with the union strike this year. Hopefully it helps some, but there's still a long way to go with the pay disparity between, white actors and black actors. And hopefully, they start getting their just due, within the next 5 or 10 years or something like that. Like, hopefully, like, there'll be equal pay. But as long as the other folks, the other color is in charge, black folks ain't gonna get paid what they supposed to get paid. You know what I'm saying? They're not gonna get paid what their white counterparts get paid. And that shit is mad frustrating for someone such as myself. Like, I've been trying to get into acting for a minute, and like other actors who are actually in it. So, I feel where Taraji P. Henson is coming from, and hopefully they can find a solution.